Blessings and welcome to today's Law Enforcement Daily Devotional. Today we are finishing up the last chapter in Romans, which is 16, and then we're getting back into Acts chapter 20, verse 2 through chapter 21, verse 17. And after several days of very intense, packed devotionals, daily reads about are in Romans, which a lot had to do with law enforcement. We had a lot of takeaways. We get to a day today that it's kind of funny. It's what we call travel day. Some days when you go to a conference or a training that's outside your city or state, you get one whole day, paid day, just to travel to get from where you are to where you need to be. And not much happens in that travel day, but you still get paid. Today, we read in Romans 16, it's just basically greetings and saying goodbye in the whole chapter. I mean, other than some warnings about being on your guard for people who are going to come into the church and try and steer you away from the gospel, it's just saying goodbye. And then when we get into Acts chapter 20 and 21, most of it is just about their travels on the sea. I mean, it is literally a travel day. And for us, for law enforcement takeaway, I feel like it's a travel day as well, because there's not much here as far as law enforcement takeaway. We're ending Romans and we're trying to get into a part of Acts where we can get another law enforcement takeaway, but this is just the narrative of travel and greetings in between. So I'm going to just look over a couple of things that were in the read. There was one really interesting story. Paul is run out of he left Macedonia. He went to Greece, but he's run out of Greece after 3 months. There's another plot by the Jews. So he goes back to Macedonia just to get ready to sail and make his way back to Jerusalem. And he's preaching. And it says he goes long over, I guess, what his normal speaking time was, and had gone all the way into midnight. Well, they're on the third floor of this building where he's preaching, and there's a kid, and the kid's name is listed in the Bible. You you Eutychus, Eutychus, Eutychus is the kid's name. So he's sitting on a windowsill, and like I did as a kid, would get sleepy during some sermons. Well, he got sleepy and he fell asleep sitting in a windowsill in a third floor room. Well, he falls asleep and he falls out of the window, and it says when he hit the ground, he died. Paul runs down. Uh, Chapter 20, verse 10, it says, "But Paul went down and fell upon him, and after embracing him, said, do not be troubled, for his life is in him." And then Paul went back up and preached, finished. The next day, the kid was fine. It's a miracle, and it's just a short snippet of a story, of a cool, miraculous story, in the midst of this travel day. From there, we see all the and Luke. Remember, Luke is writing this. This is the book of Acts was written by Luke, so Luke's writing about their adventures, and they're sailing, and every once in a while they'll stop and they'll get off one boat and they'll get on another boat, and they stop and meet people along the way. But we end it, and Paul has stopped, and Agabus, a prophet, has come to him and basically says, Paul, the Holy Spirit has told me that you will be bound and handed over to the Gentiles if you go back to Jerusalem. And Paul's kind of like, well, the Holy Spirit's been telling me that since chapter 20, and I'm ready to go. So that's kind of where it leaves off, and that's where I'm going to leave off. Tomorrow we're going to be in Acts chapter 21, verse 17 through chapter 28, verse 35. So read ahead. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And in the meantime, you guys be safe.